You are qualified to be in that room because you are called. You have been anointed by the Most High God to be in this room. Now, I've been having my own mindset shifts around my spirituality and my business and the validity of my work, and certain mental health professionals that don't believe in life coaches. And, I've been seeing a lot of that online. The worst people that you've ever met in your life are life coaches. Ouch, that hurts my feelings, but okay. And I've been looking at this and I've been, doing the logical thing. And I'm sitting here I'm moving through module 4 of the I Can and I Should course. And I'm listening to myself talk and I go, oh my God, light bulb moment. On the screen says, is there a big chalkboard in the sky saying you cannot achieve the dreams God has placed on your heart? And in this training, I'm talking about, a lot of things. I'm talking about shifting your self-esteem and overcoming thoughts that say that you can't do it and you should quit and give up and all this good stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff happening in this training. But in that specific part of the training, I'm talking and I'm like, what I'm going to lean into, what I'm going to prefer to talk about, instead of looking at the fact that human beings are a species that is evolving, we're always getting better, we're always moving forward, we're always learning more, we're always experiencing breakthroughs. So of course I get to grow and expand. I'm a part of a species that is growing and expanding. That's a lovely way to look at it. I prefer, as I'm saying in the video, she reminds me, thank God, I prefer to look at it from the place of God has a calling on my life. Before I was born, before I was fully formed in the womb, God knew who I would be. God knew what I was going to walk out on this planet Earth. My desires are my desires on purpose. I want it for a reason. It is my desire. It's my destiny. It's my calling. It's my anointing to do this work. I am called to do this work. I am extraordinarily gifted in support of me doing this work, in support of me uplifting women and people all over the world, in support of me doing this incredibly powerful healing work that dismantles white supremacist structures and systems of oppression from the bottom up. It is my calling. And I cannot sit here and say, can I really get that amount of course sales? Can I really reach that savings goal? Can I really move into the apartment that I want to move into in New York City? Can I really get this amount of course sales? Can I really have dozens and hundreds and thousands of women all over the world respecting me and respecting my work and taking my shit seriously and investing in themselves through my courses? Do I have something that is worth investing in? Do I really? The answer is obviously yes. I'm sitting here listening to the audios, going through, doing the journal prompts. Nobody can give me a download like listening to Natalie Hughes. Nobody can give me a download like listening to Natalie Hughes. I have Amanda Francis in one square on my iPad. I have the I Can and I Should course in another square on my iPad, and I moved it over to my computer. I do have to edit the audio so that it's louder, but whatever. We can hear it, and that's going to be enough for now. But the point is, I'm receiving these downloads and I'm receiving these deeper understandings just by listening to myself. I go, oh my God, yes, you are reminding me of the shit that I know to be true. I know that this is my calling. I know that I am anointed to do this work. But what I really want to talk about in this episode is the fear that we have. Because Science is science, and spirituality is not necessarily science. What I mean by that is, in science, we have studies. In science, we have quote unquote hardcore proofs and facts. Even though we're always learning, even though we're always discovering, even though we're always gaining a deeper understanding, and sometimes things that we once thought were one thing end up being obsolete as we gain more information. Science is not a solid thing either. Not that it's not solid. We do trust it and we do rely on it, and it is right when we come to that certain understanding and we get that certain proof. We trust science. We rely on science. We rely on science. This is true. And when we have spirituality, when we have a relationship with God and we have our spiritual belief systems, there's significantly less proof in your manifestation journey. Even though, I have clients, I have my own life story, right? We have testimony. But even in your manifestation process, you don't know how it's going to happen. That makes people incredibly fucking uncomfortable. Because science's whole thing is, I want to understand how this happens. When we understand how, we feel more comfortable. When we understand how, we feel more safe because we have something that we can predict. With spirituality, with manifestation, you cannot predict it. You don't know where that next client is going to come from. You don't know. The first time that I sold the Receiver's Mindset course for over $1,000, I believe it was $1,700, I got that customer, I got that client through a conversation. It was not because I sent out an email to my email list and then somebody bought from the email that I sent out to my email list. It was not because of what I posted on social media. Even though the person that bought from me, based in the conversation, she obviously sees my posts on social media. She likes my work. She already knows me. She already likes me. She already trusts me, right? She was already, I guess, a lead that was warm, if we want to get into like the technicalities and stuff like that. But I have a content plan. The content plan did not get me the client in the way that I was expecting it to. She and I were on a call just as friends, just as homegirls. And then it ends up clicking. Oh yeah, you might actually really like my work. I can help you with this. Turns out she's looking for the exact kind of help that I can offer. Bada bing, bada boom, we work together. Amazing, fabulous. She gets amazing results from my courses and my coaching because I'm the bomb at what I do. In manifestation, you don't know how. The how is not your responsibility. You don't know how the money is going to come into your bank account. You don't know how you're going to reach that savings goal. You don't know how you're going to get that next client. You don't know how you're going to get discovered by the higher ups. You don't know how the people are going to get your name in their minds. You don't know how. Because you are working with divine orchestration. You are working with the non-physical. You are working with infinite intelligence. You don't fucking know how. And we don't like that when we're hyper-masculine. We don't like that when we're living in a world where we have to see it and touch it and taste it and feel it in order to believe in it. There's a lot of spiritual people. There's a lot of people that go to church every single Sunday. And they still don't have faith. I don't want to go to school and become a therapist because I'm not meant to be a therapist. I'm meant to be a spiritual fucking coach. I am meant to help you establish faith. I am meant to help you deepen your own connection with God, with spirit, with the universe, with your inner being, with your angels, with your ancestors. That is important and incredibly valuable fucking work. I don't want to be a therapist. I don't want to be a psychiatrist. Nothing wrong with those professions. It's not that those professions cannot be tremendously helpful. but it's that my work has value too. We need the spiritual. I need the spiritual. Especially when you're going to a place that you've never gone before. There is no proof and there is no guarantee that you're going to get out of your current tax bracket. That's why you need faith. There is no 110% guarantee that you're going to find and connect with the love of your life after a history of abuse and neglect in relationships. That's why you need faith. That is why you need faith. You need something that's going to fill in those gaps. I have no idea how. Based on my high school GPA, I should not have gotten into college, which is silly and ridiculous because there are literally colleges, not even just junior colleges, but there are colleges in general that have 100% acceptance rates, but they don't tell you about that. We don't have time for me to go on that tangent, even though I want to so badly. I was failed by the education system. Failed. Not only should I not have gone to college, but I should not have gotten as good of grades as I did in college. I feel that the grammar in that was really fucked up, but that's fine. I shouldn't have been on Dean's List 2 out of the 3 semesters that I was in college, because I got really bad grades in high school. That didn't make sense. We live in a world where, based on the statistics, if you looked at my GPA and you looked at my transcripts, you would have made assumptions about who I am and assumptions about my intellectual capacity. You would have made assumptions about what I was capable of achieving. And you would have come to the logical conclusion that I couldn't be that brilliant, that I couldn't be capable of understanding things on a college level, capable of grasping concepts, capable of mastering concepts, capable of learning and performing well in college. I had just joined I think it's called like the honors college of my college before I left. Had I stayed and got my degree, I would have done exceptionally well. Because I'm brilliant. And I wanted to do better in college more than I wanted to do well in high school. We don't have time for me to talk about all of that because I can't say that I didn't want to do well in high school. We can't even go there. So let's just move on. My point is, I shouldn't have been able to figure shit out in my business. Logically, I should have shut down my business and just started a new business. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to turn my business around. I didn't want to be the woman who experiences a failure or a setback and then runs away and then is like, okay, we're just going to figure that out another time. I accidentally made a bit of a shitty bed in my business and I wanted to make it better. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to improve it. And I have, and I am. I'm listening to module 4 of the I Can and I Should course. And in it, I'm saying that my current goals are saving for retirement. And I'm like, oh my God, Diva. Here we are a few years later. I do put money into my 401k every single time I pay myself, period. Is it all of the goals that I have for investing and putting money away for retirement? Am I everywhere that I want to be? Not yet, but I am reaching my goals. I am doing what I said I was going to do. And if I started a business and I didn't have an S Corp anymore, then I'd be paying myself in a different way. And maybe I would have a 401k, but it wouldn't be in the same way. And I wouldn't be giving distributions from my paychecks and also my company's paychecks and different things like that. I like where I am in my business. I like the choices that I made, even though I made certain choices based on misconceptions and misunderstandings and whatever. I like where I am, and I like what I'm figuring out, and I like how I'm growing things, and I like how I'm elevating things, and I like how I'm managing my money today, and I like all of these things. But if you had looked at my bank statements from 2020, you would have said, sweetheart, pack it up. They don't want it. They're not going to buy it. If you had looked at my bank statements from 2021, you would have said, girl, the business is failing. I'm sorry. It's a chop. You should probably go back to college. You should probably figure something else out. If you had looked at the physical, you would have come to the logical conclusion that I should give up, that nobody would ever want what I have to offer, that my work must not be good enough. And that would have been wrong. I can tell you on the other side, that would have been fucking incorrect. That would have been the wrong assumption to make. That would have been the worst call in the world. Because now, not only have I turned my business around, but I have the confidence that comes with me saying, I don't have to ever fear my business failing because I know how to turn some shit around. That's expertise and confidence that money in and of itself cannot buy. That's shit that you only get from experience. That's shit that you only get from tenacity. That's shit that you only get from refusing to give the fuck up. And the only way that I am here today, having this experience, having an experience where dozens of sales are coming in and hundreds of sales are coming in, and it just feels like a normal day. And I'm like, okay, it's time to really focus on increasing it drastically. I got here by faith, and I'm going to continue to grow and expand by faith. Faith is so fucking important. I don't know if there are therapists and psychiatrists that specialize in faith, so correct me if I'm wrong. I know there are therapists who are spiritual. I know there are therapists that can serve you through that spiritual lens, but I don't know that there are therapists who do the work that I do in the way that I do it. I don't believe that there are. And even if there were, that still wouldn't invalidate the power of my work. So you're called by God to do this work. Whether you're an entrepreneur like me, whether you're a coach like me, whether you're whatever. You're an artist, you're an entrepreneur of some sort, you are a corporate baddie that is making her way into the C-suite. You are called to be in that industry by God. You are called to be a trailblazer. You are called to do shit in a way that has never been done before. You are called to be the first person to have a healthy romantic relationship where two people are emotionally available and vulnerable and open and communicative and safe for one another in your family. You are called to be the first. Your success is reliant on your faith. I've never been to business school. I don't think they teach you how to have faith in business school. Something very common that they're teaching is what? There's a 1% conversion rate. So if you want one sale, you need to get 100 leads. or something like that. And if that works for you and that lights you up, fabulous, amazing, lovely. That would drive me fucking crazy. So faith is important. You're called to do this work. There's an anointing on your life. And the fear that I've been working through, the fear that I'm overcoming, the fear that I'm releasing is, well, how do you know that it's God and not you being just crazy? And this is your answer, or this is the answer that works for me. If it's God, it will improve the quality of your life. If it is your anointing, if it is your calling, following your intuition, following the messages that you receive will improve the quality of your life. I'm going to give you an example. If you believe through your spiritual practice that there is an Illuminati that is controlling the world, and there are jets that are spraying chemicals into the air that give us cancer and kill us, and the earth is flat, and I don't know, I'm not really well versed in the conspiracies, and we should not be getting vaccines. If your spirituality is telling you shit that makes you feel paranoid as fuck. We talked in like the last episode about spiritual warfare. I'm not saying that demons don't exist. I'm not saying that jealousy doesn't exist. I'm not saying that there aren't racist motherfuckers that wish that you would shut the fuck up and stay in your quote unquote lane and stay in your place, serving and working the fields and giving cheap labor and living in an unlivable fucking wage while they make terrible choices and decisions that harm the motherfucking planet, making it inhabitable. I'm not saying that that's not real. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. But what I am saying is that if your spirituality is pointing you to problems and no real solutions, that's not God. If your spirituality and your quote unquote calling is making you a paranoid fucking mess, that's not God. I remember years ago, I had a quote unquote friend, and I was traveling throughout. I was going through Tennessee. She was living in Tennessee, so I stopped by her place for a couple of nights. And I took a bath in her bathroom. And afterwards, she was like, you have to be mindful and make sure that you don't leave any hair behind, because people can take your hair and they can do spells on you with it. Which I didn't even see any hair left behind, mind you. Not saying that she was lying, but I am saying, fuck it. I'm not going to be walking around the world. Oh my God, people can't know my birth chart. They can't know my birthday. They can never get any of my hair otherwise. Bitch, please. Give me your address. I'll send you a couple locks right now. You kidding me? You fucking kidding me? You have to have the mindset and the energy that there is nobody on planet Earth that can fuck with you. I don't care what you have. You could have my GPS coordinates. You still couldn't find me. Hello? You want to talk about protecting yourself. You want to talk about protection magic. The strongest protection magic that you have is your mindset. Be the leader of your fucking mind and be impenetrable. I don't give a fuck what you have. You cannot control my thoughts because I'm the leader of my mind and I'm protected by God and my angels and my ancestors. We don't have time to go down the list of all of the protection that I have. It is extensive. I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. If your spirituality and your quote unquote calling puts you in a place where you can't leave the house because everybody in the world is so low vibrational, that's negatively impacting the quality of your life. That's not God. That's avoidance. If your spirituality is putting the health of your children at risk, is putting the health of the children in community with your children at risk, because fuck herd immunity, right? I'm not saying that there's not problems with big pharma. I'm not saying that there's not problems with corporate greed. I'm saying you claim to be connected to the heart and the mind of God, of the creator of the universe. And the only thing that God is telling you is don't get vaccinated. God's not telling you to become the cancer researcher. God's not telling you to become the wealthy woman who can invest in the research that is going to make the breakthroughs that aren't being funded. Because women's health, women's reproductive health, the health of our wombs, there's so many things that we don't know about women's bodies because we're not getting the adequate motherfucking funding. God's not telling you to generate the wealth necessary so that you can be the person that's backing that, that's funding that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm not buying it. No, thank you. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. When you are called, when there is an anointing on your life and you take steps towards that dream, towards your goal, towards your destiny, it will improve the quality of your life. It's not that everything is sunshine and rainbows and lovely and there's never any problems. You have heard me talk about the challenges that I have faced on this journey time and time and time again. There is challenges, but you should be able to look back. You should be able to reflect and see growth and expansion. And if you're not seeing growth and expansion, after 3 months, you need to try something else. If you're not seeing any growth and expansion, if the quality of your life is not improving after 6 months, you need to try something else. If the quality of your life is not improving after a year, you need to try something else. If your spirituality and your calling is putting you in a position where you feel like the world is against you, that's not God. I know that there's fucked up shit that's happening in the world. I do not deny that. And if you are truly called to do amazing work and to serve and all of this other shit, then that would also be a part of the messages that you're receiving. God is not warning sign after warning sign. God is hope. The hope for a better future, the hope for a better life. Having the willingness to take a chance and standing on faith, even when you don't know how it's going to happen. Even when it looks like it's impossible. Even when logically it doesn't make any sense. When you're connected to the heart and the mind and the soul of God, you have faith that it's working out for you, faith that it's coming together, faith that it's happening for you. There's a lot of talk online. There's a lot of talk in the spiritual community. This person is my twin flame. I'm in this high-level soulmate relationship, and the two of us are meant to come together and do amazing things and save the world. That's beautiful. You're in a soulmate relationship and a connection, and it's been 10 years, and you haven't moved forward on your own portion of the destiny yet. You're focused on him and whether or not he's going to show up, and whether or not he's going to communicate to you, and whether or not he's going to blah, 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 blah. That's not God. Years ago in 2019, when I was going through the incident and I felt like this person was my soulmate and all of these things, I actually took it seriously. Not just the soulmate connection thing, but I took the healing thing seriously. I took the doing the inner child work seriously. I took the going back in time, learning the things that I did not get when I was 2 years old and 5 years old and 7 years old and 10 years old and 12 years old. I went back and I looked at the things that I did not get in my childhood, and I made the commitment to give myself those things as an adult. I took the reparenting myself portion of it seriously. And over time, as I continue to heal, and over time as I continue to shift, the reason why I'm no longer dealing with the incident or interested in that bastard today is because I actually did the healing work. And so I can look back on that relationship, and I don't even have to look at the labels on it. I can recognize how it was always my destiny to heal and shift and change and grow. God was there. Was God there leading me to be with that person forever and ever and ever? No. Thank you. Praise him. But was God there, and was God guiding me, and was God helping me, and was God supporting me, and was God answering my prayers? Absolutely yes. You are called to do amazing things. You are called to have an amazing relationship. You are called to do amazing things in your work and in your career. And how do you know if you are really following alongside your calling? You'll know because you'll experience progress. You'll know because the quality of your life will be improving. If it's not, you need to reflect. If it's not, you need to meditate. If it's not, you need to bust that journal open and get the fuck to work. It requires real work. It's not about just memorizing spiritual concepts. I had the Abraham Hicks breakdown of the steps of manifestation memorized. I still wasn't deliberately creating my reality. Step number 1, you are inspired to want something. Step number 2, you take inspired action. Step number 3, you receive what you want. Step number 4, you relish in what you've received. Step number 5, you experience a moment of contrast. And then you're inspired to want something again. And then you're right back at step number 1. Yeah, I memorized the steps. I could teach you the steps. I could talk about the steps. Was I connecting with my inner being? Yes. Was I manifesting certain desires? Yes. But was I manifesting on demand? No, because I still had to learn things in the practical. But I showed up. I was doing the EFT tapping. I was doing the meditating. I was doing my journaling. I was doing my reflecting. So, You're called to do whatever it is that you desire to do, whatever it is that's been put on your heart. And you can trust that calling as long as when you take action on that calling, it is leading you to a better, higher quality, improved quality of life. It's not just about manifesting physical things, it's also about how you feel. It's also about how you relate to your reality. You don't want to just be the woman who manifests money. You want to be the woman who, when a random bill comes in the mail, you're not freaking out. You're not having a downward spiral. You want to be the woman who, when you decide that you want a new goal, whether it's around your income or it's around your grades or it's around your relationship or around your physical body, when you decide that you want something new, you don't start automatically thinking about all of the things in the way, all of the shit that you don't have, all of the reasons why you can't succeed, all of the reasons why you can't win. That's a negative, unsupportive mindset. Your faith is a part of your mindset. My job is to help you create a supportive mindset and to create faith, to create a supportive belief system that helps you manifest the success that you want, the happiness you want, the money you want, the confidence that you want. Again and again and again, over and over and over and over again, on repeat. If you're listening to a spiritual coach or a leader or a tarot reader or a psychic or anything, and you're left feeling disheartened, disappointed, pessimistic, unsupported, maybe that's not who you should be listening to. And the last thing that I'll say is this. It's not that somebody's job is always to tell you what you want to hear. But you should always be getting directed towards a more supportive way of thinking, a more supportive way of being. For example, I wouldn't listen to someone who told me, you can't go on the birthday trip that you want to go on. You can't move to the city that you want to move to because God says no. That's ridiculous. That's bullshit. I would want to work with the person who says, okay, this relationship with money that you have is what's getting in the way of the apartment and of the birthday trip. This is what you need to work on. You need to work on the relationship with money. You need to work on your relationship with savings. You need to work on your confidence and your ability to attract what you desire into your life. You need to work on your self-concept. You need to work on your self-perception. It's not ever that you can't have what you want in life. It's that you have to become the leader of your mind so that you actually can think in a supportive way, in a way that supports you and having what you want and having what you desire. And with that being said, That's all we've got for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want some next steps, you want some practical tools, amazing journal prompts and exercises, I highly recommend that you check out the I Can and I Should self-esteem boosting course. Your self-esteem is what you believe you are capable of achieving. Okay? I Can and I Should is teaching you what self-esteem is, how we get into these cycles of low self-esteem, not believing in ourselves, feeling incapable of reaching our goals, and also how do we shift our self-esteem so that we do believe in ourselves? How do we rewire our mindsets successfully so that we're not controlled by our fears, we're not controlled by the stories we started telling in our childhoods, and instead we are the leader of our mind who decides who they get to be, what they get to create, what they get to have. And as a consequence, we reach our goals. We get the shit that we want in our lives. Okay? This work has truly improved the quality of my life. And I believe that since it has helped me, it can also help you too. If you want to learn more about the program, you can read through my different client and student testimonials and enroll by clicking the link in the show notes or the description box. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you again in the next episode.